Hi guys! So for today's Craft With Me video, we're bringing out our Tim Holtz backdrops. I have a pretty good collection of them and I wanted to make something with them. So I was kind of fooling around, see what I could come up with, and I came up with a really fun trifold. So let me show you. Let's go ahead and put these away. I'm going to keep the Halloween one out because I kind of want to use papers from this set. But let me show you what I made. Look at these. Aren't these the cutest thing? So this one was my first one. I made it and I decided to decorate the outside. And so the closure, I just did a little tab with an eyelet. And then I decided to use this like a suede ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby when they were on clearance. And it's like a trifold in a trifold. So this is going to have a bunch of little secret journaling spots. So there's that one. I decided to add a tab on this one because I just really wanted to have those extra tabs on the outside. So I added the side tuck here, another little journal spot. On this side, I added a little notepad, but I added this little flap of the fabric to put over it just because I thought that it would be fun to have something more texture on it, I guess. I just thought that that was fun. And so behind here, I just have some of my coffee dyed paper that I just kind of roughly cut with my ruler. I tore it. And then this is another trifold, but I added a little Velcro dot to these because we're going to be stuffing them. So here's this. I added some little tags here with the pockets. And then these are the little Glassine bags, but I made them into like a little accordion pocket. So is that too cute? So it's just these. These are just the little Glassine bags that I hauled. I forget. But I've had these for a while and I decided let's go ahead and use them. So I wanted to add them in here. And of course you can add all your little goodies in here. So we have, just an example, our little Tim Holtz file card. We have a little postcard. So these are all just little things that I have videos on how I made them. Our tickets, a little journal card, and another little journal card. So that's it. Is that not too fun? And so I just thought that this was a really fun idea. Let's go ahead and show you how I did the other one. The other one, I decided not to put anything on the front because I just love the way it looked. Is that not too fun? And so here again, I used the little suede string or ribbon to close it. And then this tab, I decided to put it just a tiny bit higher just so that it has that extra look. I love the way that looks. And I did add little charms here. So we have our little soldier boy. And on this one, I did the same thing. This one I did decorate because I felt like it needed it. It was too plain on the front. And I wanted the back with this little map thing to be the border. So put that there with the little side tuck here. And this again, I add just a flap of the fabric with the handmade coffee dyed paper. And this is a little trifold in a trifold. I love that. And so here again, your little tags with journaling spots on the back. And then your Glassine bags, the accordion. I just thought that this was so much fun. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So let's go ahead and start choosing what paper we want to use. I want to kind of do the same thing to where I don't have to decorate the outside, but still leave it. Ooh, this one's fun. Ooh. Oh, I love this, but I don't know what side I want to use. Okay, we're definitely using that one. And then I want to use something else. as the inside. This might be fun. So I'm going to get about 3 of them out just to kind of play around with and see what else I want to use. Let's see. I'm trying to think, what else do I want to use? Ooh, this will be fun. All right, we'll just get those. Put this aside. And I want to use this one as my cover, but I really like this, but I don't want this to, well, it won't go to waste since you are going to be able to see it on the inside a little bit. Well, not really. So I'm thinking, do I want this to be, I just really like that grungy look. Let's just do something different. We'll do this for the outside because I just really want the flowers to show. Okay, so now if you don't have the backdrop paper, just cut down your cardstock to 6 by 10. And that's the size that we're using today. Otherwise, customize it to your heart's content and use whatever size you want. So we're gonna get out our scoreboard and we're going to score it at 3.5 and 7. Have to get my big one out for this. So we're gonna score it at 3.5 and 7. And then put this big thing away because that's all I need it for. I can get my little one out for the rest of the stuff that we're gonna use. So there, it goes like this. So 3.5 by 7, it's perfect. 3.5 by 7, 3.5 and 7. Okay, so the longer side is going to go on the front, the shorter is going to go on the inside. Okay. Let me just distress and corner round. I corner round everything. I just like the way it looks. I'm not going to bother distressing the inside, but I am going to do the outside just a tiny bit. Just to kind of seal it off. And then, of course, the folds. I have to do that. Makes such a huge difference. And then we can start making the pockets. It's really easy. It might look a little intimidating because of everything that's going on. Because I loaded this thing up, you guys. But I'm so happy with it. But they're super easy. Okay, so this is the bigger side. So the small side goes in and it goes like this, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and make our little side tuck there. Wouldn't that be cute if I can put, it doesn't fit. I might be able to fit it. If I can cut this whole thing out, is that not too cute? Let's see. I'm trying to see how I can do that. That would be really cute to add that. Let me just cut it down. I'm going to cut the little owls out and see. Now the side flap, you can pretty much do whatever size you want. Mine is about 1.5 inches normally is what I do. And this one is a little less than 2 inches. I could cut off this little end here. But I just kind of eyeball it, guys. I eyeball all of my little pockets and side tucks and everything. So let's see. I think I might have to trim off the edges here. I just think that that'll look really cool for the sides. Let's see, does that fit? Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna corner around these edges here. And then just take away the white. And then we can glue this down. So I'm using, of course, my art glitter glue. And we're gonna put this down. Love the way this looks. I love that. Ooh, this one might be my favorite yet. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I love that. Okay, let's figure out, I'm thinking maybe this one, right? To kind of put as our little, yeah, we're gonna use this to make our little trifold on the inside. So let's see, the first cut, ooh, that's cool too. No, but I like this side. The first flap, the one that opens this way, is gonna be cut at 3 inches. So let me measure that at 3 inches. Make sure I could see it. So we're gonna cut this down at 3 inches. Okay, so that's the first flap. And then the second flap is, I think it might be 3 3/4. Let's see. So let's do this. Save this for pockets. Okay, now let's see. Do I need to trim this down? Yeah. I might need to trim them both down just a tiny bit. I think I'm going to do them together just to make sure that I get the same amount on both so that they're even Steven. I think I'm going to do maybe 1/8 of an inch off the bottom and see if that's enough. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, now we're going to get our scoreboard out and score it 1/2 inch on each side. So we're going to score this down 1/2 inch. And then this one, 1/2 inch. I think I'm going to do it this way because I want it to go, I want it to be like this. Wait. Darn it. Yeah, this way. This way, this way, this way. This side. Got it. I was confusing myself. Only because it's directional, you know what I mean? So you kind of have to figure out how you want it so that it looks, it's upright on both sides. But this is the way. I got it, I got it. Okay. Corner round. Actually, I think I'm going to corner around the inside too. The folds. Yeah, perfect. So this is going to go like this. And this one's going to go like this. Ooh, yeah. Just going to get rid of the white. Yeah. And do the same thing on the inside. And make sure you get the crease, the fold. Again. And we can go ahead and put this down. Let me get my little bone folder and kind of get this down really nice. Get the crease. Okay. Now let's go ahead and glue this. Now, you know what? I think I'm going to do this so I could see the crease a little bit better, the fold. Otherwise, I'm lost. Oops, I just stuck my finger in the glue. Okay, so this is going to go here. Now you want to put it close to the crease, but not on it, on the inside of the crease, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. But let me do again. So I can see it. And then it also looks better. Okay. Now let's do this. And put this down. I want it to be even with this one, so we're gonna try to see if we can move it up. Come on. Yeah, it's good. Okay. So there we have it. There's our inside fold. Love it. Then we need our papers here. But let's do the rest of our pockets first. I can use this for the pockets. This might be cool to put this side and then this side. Let's do that, just to match. So I'm gonna cut this down right where that line is. And then see where we need them, because this one's larger. I don't think I want to go that far up. That pocket would be way too big, I think. But I am going to have to cut it down. Let's see, I think I'm going to cut this side down. I want to leave that border on the other side. So we'll cut this. Okay, and then let's see how high. I guess I could. I just think that that looks really good, right? I guess I could leave it that height, but no. I'm gonna have to cut it down because I want them to be the same size in height, because it just looks weird if it's not. But let's see how we could do this. I guess I am going to have to cut a little bit off the top here. And see how much. I'm just measuring just because I want it to be the same on both sides. So let's do this again. Putting this down together just so that I can get them the same. See, now that they're the same size, I can put this here or this one. Actually, let me see, are they the same? No, this one's a little bit wider. I just feel like we're going to switch it. I changed my mind, which is completely fine. I'm just going to trim this down here. And then so we have this one. I'm just rounding off that edge because I want it to be even. And then this side, I'm going to have to trim as well. So let's see how far out. I'm going to trim it down to the 4, and then we'll go from there and see how much more I need to trim. So we got that down. I might have to trim off that 1. So we're just going to do it up to here. So at least the 232 will still show. Yeah. There. Yeah, that's good. I just need to trim off this corner, round it off, and we're good for now. No, we need to put the notch before I start distressing. Let's put the little notch here. And then this one could go about here. Okay. I really like to put the notches in because I feel like it's more noticeable that it's supposed to be a pocket and not just a core. I just like it. I like the way it looks. And then we can go ahead and put this, glue this down. Perfect. Put that here. I like to leave a little bit of a border all around so that it's not completely at the edge. And then put this here. There. Ooh. Looking super cool so far, right? Oops, that didn't stay down. Okay, there's that. Now, should we do that now? Yeah, let's do this. I need a little spot for the top. Actually, I forgot. We're gonna need a little side tuck here. So I could put the whole 5 cents bit here. That might be fun. Ooh, or this one. Yeah, let's do this side. Yeah. Okay. Again, let me see. This one, I do like to do it just a tiny bit bigger. So let's see. I think I want to trim this down to maybe here. And I'll tell you what that measurement is in a minute. Let me cut this down. Is that where I put it? I can't even see. Yeah, that's it. I always keep my strips. You just never know what you might need them for. And so this I have at 2 inches. So this is 2 inches here. But again, this side is a lot smaller, so it looks like it was wider. But that fold is smaller. And so we're just gonna take off the white. And then we can glue this down, the 3 sides. And then put that here. And then we can put our little tuck there. I love that. Oh my gosh. I love it. Is that not too fun? Okay, let's go ahead and make this. So let's see what we could use as the top. I kind of like this. Let's see. Or maybe something like this. This little part with the words on it. Yeah. Okay, so let me mark it and see where we need this. So let's put it here. And then let's just cut this whole piece out and then see. So let me trim it this way. Save that and then trim it here. So is that good enough? Yeah. Okay. We're gonna round here. And then let's fold this down. I like the front to be bigger than the back. So maybe 3/4 of an inch. And this whole thing measures, let me tell you, 1 3/4. And then I folded it down 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, I like this with the words. Yeah, I'm gonna do the inside. Now again, we're gonna just see how I have this. Yeah, we'll just use this to trim. So we'll start trimming here. And then I'm just gonna keep marking. Let me get this out of the way. I'm just gonna keep marking to see. They don't have to be exact because you want it to be a little bit staggered anyways. So we'll put 3 sheets on this one. Let me get my little ruler. I do want them straight though. So we'll do this. There's one. Put that here. When I coffee dye my paper, I do them in big batches. So like that, I don't have to do it for a while because it is a little bit of a pain. I actually leave mine out to dry. I don't put mine in the oven. I don't do none of that. I try to make them on a day where I don't have much to do that day, which is rare because I'm always super busy, but that's what I try to do. Now let's see which fabric we want to put on top of this one. Should we put this or should we put something? Should we put this one? Trying to see which one looks better. Maybe this. I kind of like that. Let me cut this down. I need my other rotary cutter. I might be off to the side too much, guys. Sorry. I need to get this kind of even. Come on. Come on. There. And then let's see. Put this. So it would be about here. So let's get this and do it here. I feel like it's a little too thick. Is that right? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Now we're going to have to see how long we want it. I think this is upside down. Yeah, it is. That goes on the bottom. Actually, it works out. So this flap I'm actually doing, it's about 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that's this. Yeah, okay. Now what I'm doing, normally I would just staple them, but these I'm just gluing them together. Just a little strip. And then we'll glue that down here. Put this here. And then we can add this to the top. I feel like this little edge here is a little crooked. So we're just gonna, those are not my fabric scissors. So they're not gonna cut the best. Just trimming it off just a tiny bit. Perfect. Okay. Now I can glue this down. And then glue all of this together. Just another fun idea to use our little fabric scraps. I'm telling you, I'm trying to use everything that I have. And then we'll just glue this down. And put this about here. Because I'm not rounding this corner, you're gonna have to make sure, there. You have to make sure that it's not gonna poke out right there. Ooh, but I love it. Okay, let me move that fabric out of the way. Put that back. Okay, so there's this. We can go ahead and put our little Velcro dot. Now again, I get these at Dollar Tree, you guys, and they're so good. So good. I can't recommend these enough. I wish they had them in black. But what I'll do is I'll put it right at the corner here. And then I'll close it. Push it down. And it's ready. Not bad, huh? Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Let's make our tags. This is a good one to make a tag out of. Let's see. That's probably better on this side. Well, I feel like it's a little off. But yeah. Is this, I feel like it's a little, it's not even. I knew it, it's not even. Okay, let's just trim it down to where it's even because that's kind of bugging me. make sure it's even. And then we'll cut off maybe, how much do we need to cut off the top? To make our little, I'm just going to trim some off the bottom and then some off the top so that we can put our tab. Perfect. Maybe just a little bit more off the top. I don't want it sticking out because I want my tab to show, and I don't want it to be too far. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Now let's see what else we can use for this side. Let's see. Anything else? Where are the other papers? No, too bright. I guess I could use this one. Trying to see all my other little scraps. This might be fun. Put this yellow. Is that too bright? I have this. I have to trim this down. Let's do it up to maybe number 6. And then trim this down more. And then see how that fits. Yep, perfect. Okay, we're gonna round corners. And normally I'll just put like a journaling notebook paper on the back of the tags, only if the back side, like see this, you can write on. So I'm just gonna leave that. Let's just get the corners. And then do the same on this side. This side does need it more because it's very light. So we're going to give this one a good distressing. Okay. And then this one, all it needs is the edge. But because this is dark, we are going to have to put... Is it too many numbers if I do it this way? Should I just leave it like this better? Right? So we'll put the notebook paper here. So let me just trim this down. I really like the way it looks with the little red line. Isn't that cute? So we're just gonna eyeball this. And then let me get the measuring for the bottom too. Since we're already here. We'll just do it to this line. The third line down. And then cut this. I feel like everything in here needs to have purpose. So I'm not going to corner around because it's too thin. Yeah. Well, but we are going to distress. So let's ink up the corners. And then no glue. I'm going to add my tape runner for this. Because it's thin, I'm only going to use on 2 sides. Let me put it this way so that I can get it right in the center. Perfect. Now let's get our tabs. me look through and see which tabs we want to use. I don't want to cover the 5 on that. Oh, I do have this one. It's already ready. Well, it's going to cover it anyway. So there's that. Okay. I am going to be using different color tabs only because I like the way it looks. So let's get this one. I think we're going to use black for this. And then I can just trim that down. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. Let me trim this down. And see if that works better. Yeah. Yep. Okay, because this is black, we don't need to distress this. So I'm just going to put some on the bottom first. Make sure that it's even. And then we'll put all around the top. And close this up. And then do the same on this one. So let's go ahead and put glue here. And then put glue all on the top side here. Close it, and then we'll add eyelets, of course, because why not? Let me get my eyelets out and see which ones we want. I think we'll do bronze for both. So let's open this up. And then add our eyelets. Yeah, that looks good. I was gonna say maybe we should use black, but no. I like the way this looks better. Okay. Fun! Fun, fun. Okay. We need 2 more for here. So I can use this one. I think I could cut it down to where. Just trying to use my scraps. Oops, I almost moved it. And then see where I need to cut for the bottom. Maybe about here. And then corner round, of course. Let's see, is this a good enough? Nope. Too thick. Ooh, but this one fits here. Okay, maybe just a tiny bit more on the bottom, and then maybe we'll keep it for this side. Let me try again. Yes, much better. Yep, we're gonna go with that one for there. And then we are going to add a tab and eyelet. We're gonna need to put journaling paper on the back too. So So let's get another little sheet. Luckily, I had these already cut. Is this one sheet or two? Oh, it's one. Ooh, almost. Just a tiny bit more I'm gonna have to cut. And then this one I am going to round. And ink. I am loving the way this is coming out. This is going to be so much fun. Okay, just a tiny bit. Now let me get my tape runner. Should be okay with just the 2 strips. And then even this. Oops. Wait, it was too long. I'm gonna have to cut the ends off. Let me do it this way, see if I could cut it. See if it'll let me. Yep, perfect. Let me just round. Ink the bottom really quick. I didn't measure the bottom. Okay, now we can put it down. Perfect. Cute, right? We'll put a tab on that one. So let's see. We've got brown and black. I could put a green one. That might be fun. Put a smaller green one. And then we'll put an eyelet and a little dangle thing on this one because this is where I like to have it kind of dangling down. So let's glue this down first. And then put this towards the top. So we're gonna put it about here. Make sure that it's even. Perfect. And then put glue on this side and put that down. We're going to do this one towards the bottom so that it has room to dangle. Let's do a black one. Or more this, yeah, let's do a shiny black one. Yeah. And let's see, let me get a black bulb pen. And then let's get a couple charms. Let's do one of these. Let's do one of these. Let's do the 13. We'll do the 13 cents and maybe a key. One of my little skeleton keys. So let's see which ones we have. Ooh, how about this one? We'll do that. So let's just add a little hole on this one. And then add our little dangle here. Perfect. Come on. There. I love it. I should have did the little, I should have done it on this side so that's hanging the other way, but that's okay. Now we need another one here, but this one is just going to be a regular. I'm trying to see what other papers we have to work with. For one more little tab, I don't want to do that one. What's this? How about that? Let's cut this one down. Actually, I think this is a pretty good size already. Let's see. Let's cut this down to about where the green is. And see if we could use this. See if it fits first. Nope. I need to cut it down. This little piece got stuck because of the glue. Not the glue, the tape. Okay, let's see this now. Perfect. Perfect. Ooh, and I love the green on the black on the back. Okay, then this one I don't even have to put a journaling spot on the back because it's already plain. So we're just going to distress this a little bit. And then we can put our glassine bags in the middle. Add our little tab to the front. And I think that's it. Right? Yeah, this is going to look cool here. Yep. Okay. Now the glassine bags, I get 5 and I've already distressed them. So this is what we're going to do. Let's attach them together first. So on the back, we're just going to make a line down the middle, a line across the bottom. And we're going to add that, trying to line them up to the one underneath. Okay, and we're just going to keep going down the middle, across the bottom. Line them up. Put it down. Keep moving it a little bit because they're so glossy. And then the last one. Okay. And then to attach it, we're just doing the same thing. A line down the bottom of the middle and then one down the bottom. And then we just figure out where exactly we want it and put it down. Let me move this for a second. I love this. I love how grungy this looks, right? Okay, let me just add just a little something to the front and then we're going to be done. I want to add a little paper doll, of course. Let me add, should we add this little girl? No, I think I need something in black. I need a little somebody in black. Oh, sorry, I totally hit the thing. Should we do this little boy? She's too big. How about this little girl? Let's see, what could she be hanging on to? Let's go into the keepsakes and see if there's something. I need something that's tall enough for her to be hanging on to. But I want it grungy. So no, it's too tall. How about a ticket? Maybe I should get my tickets out. I have my tickets. Let's see. I wonder if this is going to be too tall. Let's see this one. No? And then we can put like a little number strip or something on the bottom. Let's see. All right, that's what we're doing. So let's distress this a little bit. Just something simple. So we'll put this here. Let's add glue to this. And then put this here. Then put this on the bottom, and then we'll situate her to see if we can get her to stand. Let's see if I can get it here. No, it's too. Okay, it's going to be at the very tip, the very, very end, so that it doesn't look like she's floating. Okay, so this is going to have to be at the very end like this, barely touching. And then let me just kind of get rid of the white a little bit. And then we can add her like that. I wonder in the original picture, what was she hanging on to? Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. So much fun. We need to put still. Oh, we didn't put a tag in here. Oh no, duh. What am I thinking? And I'm like, oh no, we didn't put a tag. Yes, we did. I need a little tab for here. So let's see. Let's put a black. Let's put a black one. Yeah. We'll put a black tab here. Let's do it this way. So we can get this kind of even in the middle. And then close this up. And then the eyelet is going to go right in the middle. And then let's get, I think, another bronzy one, right? Let's do a bronze. Yeah. And close this up. Not pushing too hard or else these will split. See? It split a little bit. Okay. And then we can get our string. We're going to do black. Where is the end of this? If I could find it. Here it is. Let me measure it along with this one. Ooh, right at the tip. Okay. Let's put this away. And then we can close this up. Oh my goodness. So you know how I was always saying that every time something happens to me or I trip or I fall or something, I always say, don't push me. Now I got my husband saying it. He tripped over something. I forgot what it was. And he turns around and he looks at my daughter who was like, I don't know, like 5-8 feet away. And he looks at her and he says, don't push me. But look, here is the final product. Is that not too fun, you guys? Okay, real quick. So here it is. The flowers on the outside, love it. Then the inside, grunge. So we have our little tab with our journaling spot here. More journaling here. More journaling here. Our little other trifold. More journaling on these. And then we have our... Uh-oh. One got too far up. There. Oh, come on. I think I went too far up on these. There it goes. There it is. If your pockets have a little flap like this, don't go all the way up. But there it is. There's your little accordion fold on the inside. I love it. I love, love, love it. I think that this is so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this little fun trifold within a trifold type of folio. And let me know if you guys give it a try. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Here are all of them. And I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.